guys. Excuse me. This is Deb with Four Seasons Crafts. I have a little bit of a sore throat, but I really wanted to come on to share with you a couple ideas on how to use some of your designer series paper that you may have kind of stashed away. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share with you a couple different cards, but we're gonna make two of them, and then I'll show you a couple others as well. So with that, we'll go ahead and start. And I brought some tea in with me to take care of the cough. So a friend of mine, she showed me a card layout, and I really liked it. And this was it. And it's super simple. You guys can see, right? So we're just going to go through real quickly how to use up a sheet of designer series paper and make some of these cards. So again, the point is to use up our old designer series paper. So I had a sheet, and I'm going to pull that in here, of this really pretty ornate designer series paper. So the first thing you want to do is we want to look at the colors that are inside that set of paper, right? So there is Bumblebee, Early Espresso, Mint Macaron, Old Olive, Terracotta Tile, and Whisper White. So what I would do is, we know Terracotta Tile is already gone. So if you have some sheets of that as well as this, then now's a great time to use those up. So when the new in colors come, you'll be able to make room for those. Bumblebee is, of course, retiring this year with the 2020-2022 colors, which is just a beautiful color. So you're going to want to know those so you know what needs to coordinate, unless you're going to use the basic white cardstock. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our sheet and we're going to bring in our paper trimmer. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut this into 3 strips that are 4 inches each. All right. And make sure if it has a pattern that you have the pattern going the correct direction. Now this one, it seems it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to line it up at 4 inches. And I'm going to bring in my instructions here too, so you guys can see those as we are doing this. That way, if you want to take a screenshot or write those down, you can. So this is one 4-inch piece. Then we're going to go here to another 4-inch piece. And there we go. Now we have 3 that are the exact same size. Now our paper cutter can actually cut, I believe, 3 of these. We're going to try it. So we have it at 4 inches, and now we're going to go to 5 1/4 inches. So we're going to line that up at 5 1/4. And then I'm just going to take my blade, and I have now 3 there. And out of one sheet of designer series paper, you are going to get 6 cards. So we're going to take this at 5 1/4 again and swoop that up. Now you guys are probably like, oh, now we have more leftovers. We're going to actually use these. I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do with those. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these here, and we are going to line it up at 3 1/4 and cut it. And you're going to do that for all of them. We're going to move that off to the side. And now we're going to take a piece of our cardstock, and this is cut at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and then we score it at 4 1/4. So a typical card base. And now you just take these 2 pieces and you're going to line them up. Take this one, flip it, and this is the front of your card. I mean, it can't get much more simple than that. So we're going to go ahead and do this one. We're going to go ahead and adhere it to our card. Here we go. So we're just going to use some adhesive here and line this up. This paper, I loved it. And I had just a few sheets left, and here is just a perfect example that you can turn around and make 6 cards with it. Oops, sorry guys, I'm trying to make sure. Just make sure you have it lined up on the sides evenly as well as the bottom evenly. And then you're just going to take this one and now you're just going to line it up right here to make sure that the 2 points are lined up for the opposite side. And there we go. I thought this was such a adorable design. And look at that. There is our card base. Now what we're going to do is I'm using the sentiment out of the welcoming window. And this particular set, 2 things. One, it's retiring. And I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorites. But it's also on the 20% bundle list. So you typically, when you buy the stamp set and dies, it's 10%. Well, now it's 20%. So it's $44.75. And because it's retiring, of course, it's while supplies last. But awesome, awesome set. So if this is something that you guys would like, I encourage you to do it. Now, I am using the Sending Sunshine for a Beautiful Birthday. I thought that was a nice little saying for this card, because I am using this fairly large, I'm using the Label Me Lovely punch, and I really liked that. So this is my my punch. Now I'm going to take, and we're just going to stamp out our greeting here in basic black. And because he's a photopolymer, we have our foam mat here at the bottom. And we're just going to bring out our ink and stamp that in here. And then we'll just stamp down on our paper. There we go. And now we're going to take our punch it right through, line it up on all sides there. And again, you guys can kind of grip it with your, kind of gently hold it down, and that way you can wait until you like where it is centered wise. And then go ahead and punch it. And now for this piece here, of course, if we put it behind here, you can see we don't get any effect at the bottom. So we just take this and we're going to cut it right in half. And my desk is a little, yep. All right. So we're going to take this, put some adhesive on the back, just turn it over, line it up. You guys have seen me do this before. Remember, any punch with a straight edge, you can do this with. And then we're going to take the bottom and turn it over and do the exact same thing. Get it where you like it. It's nice and even, not poking out the sides. Press that down. And for all of these, I just actually glued them down as opposed to putting them up on dimensionals. I just thought they looked a little better. But you can put them up on dimensionals. You could add ribbon if you have that. I was trying to get through more of my cardstock, and I did. Let me just show you. So that is this card. Well, you can, with that one sheet of DSP, you can do this 6 times and end up with a nice pack of cards. You could give those as a gift. So lots of options. So here's another one I made with that same set, only I used Old Olive. And then here are ones I had with this, the Art Gallery Designer Series paper. And then I used the double heart punch. Those are not retiring. They're not on the retire list. And you can see, look at all the different looks you get. I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. Simple, and I was able to make with just leftover cardstock or leftover Designer Series paper. I think I got 48 thank you cards. So it was awesome. All right, so that's our first quick way that you can use up some Designer Series paper. Sorry, I think I keep saying cardstock. I meant Designer Series paper in your stash. Okay, now the next one is going to be a mini album. And for this one, I want to show you what one looks like first. And I'm going to bring in what I used to make this first one. And then we're going to make another one just slightly different. So here are the measurements. And this is what we're talking about. So this right here, again, I'm using some old retired paper, designer series paper. But again, you could use any paper you have. This particular stamp set that I used, and I used 2 different stamp sets actually, so I'm going to show you both of those. This punch and stamp set are retiring from the new catalog, which I'm very sad about. But the stamp set is its regular price. I think it's $18. And the punch is 50% off. So it's only $9. And it's phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. So that's the set that I just wanted to point out that's in the catalog, but it is retiring. So that's what I used along with Sweet as a Peach. So you'll see here I punched out the leaf and I put Just For You. And this is just, it is called a little mini album, but you open this up and it opens up this way. And then it has these flaps and then it opens down. Isn't that just so cool? So it uses a whole 12 by 12. So it's a great way to use a 12 by 12. But you could use this for a birthday card, for like a group of people to sign all over. You could use it as a little mini album, like for your kids. If they're 10 years old, you can put a picture in here on each one of these panels. And you could get them from, 1 to 9 years old. I thought that was really neat too. So just so many options you could do with this card, this little mini album. But again, it's another reason to use an entire sheet of designer series paper. So a couple other things you could do with it. And we're going to do something a little different. So for this one, I just figured it would make for great photos or just a nice group card. So that is what we're going to make. Also, for the lids here, I used the rounder punch or what's it called? I can't remember. But it says triple punch and it's got, the little decorative corners. So I used the corner rounder. It is 40% off. So it is $12. I mean, that is a great deal. And I can tell you, if you don't get the corner rounder, you might not have one unless you use like a tag punch. I don't know if there's one with a corner on it or not, but this is truly a great punch, and it's a super good deal. If you don't have one, I would encourage you to maybe pick one of those up too, because it is retiring. Okay, so let's go through and make one of these. So again, for this one that I shared with you, the measurements are right here. The one we're going to do is slightly different because I want to show you how you can make it for recipe cards. So like I said, you could do this one for pictures. You could do it for graduation, just so many, Mother's Day or, your grandparents, whatever. It's just, it has so many different things that you can put in pictures, little notes. You could put, remember when we did this, that, and the other. So lots of great choices. Okay, so these are the measurements for this mini album card. But I'm going to show you, so I'm going to give you a new set because we are going to make one that will actually fit, some recipe cards. Okay, so these are our measurements. They're a little, you might need to take a photo of these too. They're a little scratched up, but I'll try to have them written out a little bit nicer. Oops, for you. Okay, so here we go. So the stamp set I used for this next one is the Sweet as a Peach, and it is also right here on the 20% off bundle, and it is only $32.75. Guys, that is such a great deal. It was a good deal just at 10% off, but now you're getting it for $20. So I think it's wonderful. I also believe this is retiring from the catalog. So I wanted to point that out. All right, so let's go ahead, and I am now going to show you the one we're going to create and what we're going to use. So we are, and let me find, so what we're going to do is I thought, wouldn't it be cool to make one of these for recipes? So this is, so what we're going to start out with, and I thought, oh, this would make such a nice Mother's Day gift or a friend gift, or to a new married person. So I will tell you guys a quick story. When my husband and I, when we got engaged, and my mother-in-law threw us a shower, a wedding shower, and every lady that came brought a recipe card. And we have been married for 30 years, and I still have some of those recipe cards. It's kind of funny. All right, so we're going to start out again using up this old some of our DSP that we already have. We're going to need to cut this. It's 12 by 11 3/4. So we're going to take off just a 1/4 inch off of this one side. Okay. So we're going to take the 1/4 inch off here. And what that does is it's going to allow us to have 3 even panels, if you remember right. So we have 2 dogs now that are coming in to visit. So hopefully they will not bark. All right, so we are going to start at 3.75. Okay, so 3 3/4, and we are going to score that at 3 right here at 3 3/4. So we're going to put this down and score it there at 3 3/4. Then we're going to move it over to 4 inches, and we're going to score it there. We're going to put up our arm here, and now we are going to score it again. Get out some of our stuff here. All right, now we're going to score it again at 7 3/4. And then we're going to score it at 8. So what you're going to end up with is 3 panels, each of them being 3 3/4 of an inch. Now we're going to rotate our paper to the 12-inch side, and we are going to score it at 5 1/4 inches. And this is the part that's different, okay? Because we need a little more height for this one. So we go 5 1/4. And then we're going to go up there to 10 1/2. And we are going to score it there. So what you end up with, the difference between the two, is we're going to have a smaller label. Okay, so we are done with our trimmer. And now we're going to use our bone folder here. And we'll move this out of our way as well. And we're going to take this. And hopefully you guys can see those score lines there. But we're just going to go through and gently, and we're going to start with our outside ones here. And we're just going to go down, and then we're going to fold to that next really small line. Now, the first time I did this, I actually thought, oh, I don't want such a big gap. It looked like it was going to be, that 1/4 inch was going to be too big, but actually it's perfect. I did it with just 1/8 of an inch in between, and that totally did not work. That was kind of a Debbie Dumb mistake there. Okay, so now we're going to go down, and we're going to do the next one here. Make sure. Okay, and we'll just take our bone folder over that. All right, now we're going to do this one other score line here. And we have gone over each one of them. Now what we have to do when you look at this whole sheet of paper, and let's do it this way. Okay, so this is how it's going to fold. But you can see in our example, these were not here, right here, these little lines here. So we're going to cut those out. So what you're going to do is the lid, the top, we're going to cut just to that first score line here. So we're just going to take our snips. I thought I brought in my other scissors, but I guess I didn't. So this is, like a big no-no, guys, right? Because I'm using my nice ribbon scissors for paper. All right. It's just, I might just have to get another pair. Okay. And then I'm going to go over here and do the exact same thing. I'm just going to cut up to that first score line. And then I'm just going to take these down. And you can see that I have these little tabs here. I'm just going to cut these off is all. So I'm just going to go up and trim that off. Go over here and trim that off. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to cut, and I'm going to go to this other side because it's a little easier for me to see here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to trim up these and then we're going to be able to put our card together. Oops. Or our little mini album, I should say. Anyhow, this would be, I thought, what a great gift to give, like a, maybe a lady in your church or a teacher. You could have your kids take one of these cards to school and just thank a teacher, thank a Sunday school teacher, or even a neighbor. Sometimes there's lots of neighbors that do a lot of things for a lot of people. All right, I'm going to try to keep, not that you guys need to see me cut this. This is quite boring, right? Okay. So, sorry about the dog. It's funny. So 2 hours leading up to this nice event here, she was sleeping. Now she is raring to go, right? Okay, so we're just going to go up to that score line where it was. And there we have it. So we are now going to take these. And you can just see, just so you can see what we're actually going to have. Here we go. Right there. There is our nice album without anything on it. All right. Now we're going to go and actually start decorating it. All right. So now this one, I think I mentioned we wanted to be able to fit some recipe cards in it. So what we're going to do is on these two sides, and this is what's a little different than what we had on the first one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this edge right here, and we are just going to line it up. And I really think this is much easier than trying to like score it, I guess, is just keep it on that. Make sure you keep it on that edge corner. And then we're just going to meet it at the side there and make sure it comes to a nice point like that. There we go. And we're just going to burnish it right there. And there you have it, like a little folded pocket. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to put some adhesive right on both sides. Now, I put our Tombow glue. I just put it in one of these little bottles here because I get a fine tip, like a super fine tip. So we are going to just take our adhesive and we are going to run it right down the edge here. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. And again, you need to get it close so that your cards will fit, but you don't want to get it, too close that it's going to run and cause maybe other areas to not stick. All right, now what we're going to do is we're just going to put some other adhesive right on the back here. Our tag. And there we go. So now we have this nice pocket right here for our recipe cards. Look at that. And see, guys, this is what that extra 1/4 inch gave us. So now I can fit 2 or 3 recipe cards. And these are basically an index card. So if you think about it, you could write, you know, 2 or 3 of these and fit them in that pocket. So we're actually going to leave them there so we can just see what it, you know, see if that's what we made it for. Now we're going to do the exact same thing over here. So we're going to take this side. I'm going to move our instructions out. Take this side, bend it over. No, it wouldn't be a Facebook Live without like a dog barking or the phone ringing, right? It's so funny how all those things happen when you record a video. Sorry, it's all a test. It's all a test. All right, so now what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to take our adhesive here, and we're just going to go along this edge right here. And again, we just need a really thin line. This glue is great. I tell you, I really like the Tombow glue. It is so sticky. And it's great for this kind of purpose, right? When you can get that small line. There we go. Yay. All right. And remember, guys, you can do this with any designer series paper that you have, and you can use, and that way you use a whole sheet of it. I mean, super nice, super nice. All right. So there we go. There's our second pocket, and we're going to take a few cards and we're going to stick it over there. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually decorate these two on the inside. So what I have is I have 3 pieces of basic white that are cut at 3 3/8 and 4 7/8. And then I have 3 pieces of basic black that are cut 3.5 by 5. And what we're going to do is we're just basically going to layer these two like this. And we're just going to put them right here on each one of these panels. Okay? That way, and my point in doing that, excuse me, in this recipe book was that they could write out their own recipe, or you could write out one, or write out a note, whatever the case may be, right? So we're going to go ahead and adhere these. And this is where I thought, let me show you. I do not have it, but I wanted to point it out because it is also on the 20% off list. And it's retiring. I know, do you believe it? Let me show you that one. I have debated on this one for quite a while. This What's Cooking. This would be perfect for one of these recipe mini albums because you could decorate it in all of these cool things. You could give them away for Mother's Day, Grandparents' Day, Teacher's Day, a whole bunch of ideas here that I thought that are cooking related. You know, if you have maybe a daughter or son that is getting ready to graduate from college and they're going to be living on their own. I mean, what a great thing to do. You can send them off with, I think I remember reading somewhere, I think they called them like cowboy recipes or something. They were recipes you could make, you know, just out of different cans of food. All right, so we're going to do the same thing here. And then I appreciate you guys joining. You have to put out if you have any ideas of how you think you could also use these mini albums. So we will put this right here in the middle. Again. And you could stamp this first. That's what I kind of liked about that stamp set. I think there's something in there that says, it's like recipe recipe for, a recipe from, something like that. Just a great set. And again, it's retiring, so I might have to pick it up because I've thought about using it in like my retreat at home, where it's one of the things that I would like to start doing, and including recipes, right? Okay, so now we're going to glue this one down. And then we're going to add a few extra embellishments in here. But before we do that, so remember I told you we were going to do this card a little differently. So first thing we did was we cut it slightly differently. But now this is what we have, right? Isn't that, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it is super duper cool. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I did cut some strips of black cardstock to put up here just to make the lids a little more sturdy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut those and put them right in the middle there. And we'll add that. And then we could conceivably kind of decorate those as well. And we'll put them a little bit closer to the top there, so it looks more like a tab. Now this one I did not round the, I didn't round the corners on this one. This one I kept square. There we go. And then we'll do this one here. Right. All right, there we go. Just got a few little hairs there on the paper. Time to change the blade, right? All right, so there we go. Now we're going to decorate the front of our card. So this is going to be the front panel right here. And I have a piece of ribbon as well. But for the front of this card, what I thought I would do is make a card on top of the card. So this could be where you actually put your note. So we're just going to decorate this and layer it right here in the center of our card. So first thing we're going to do is decorate this, and then we're going to put in our ribbon. So first thing, we're going to just attach, adhere this. And this mini card, the size of this paper is, make sure I tell you guys right. This is 3 inches by 7, scored at 3.5. Okay, that's what this smaller piece is. And then we're going to take some white and put it on top of our basic black. This again, it's just going to layer. And this is going to give us a very small black border, which I think always looks nice. And we're just showing 1/8 of that. 1/8 inch around. And now what we're going to do is we have our pretty peach that we stamped out of the Sweet as a Peach bundle. And this has some awesome stamps in it. Plus you get all of these different dies. And I did a video a while ago because this particular stamp right here, you actually could make blueberries, apples, lemons, oranges. It's really quite cool. So it's very, very versatile. All right, so we're going to just put our peach in here with our leaf. So we're going to just put a little bit of adhesive right here. Put our leaf on, and this leaf was just stamped out of that Sweet as a Peach paper. So instead of actually stamping it in green, we just used the paper itself. And now I'm just going to adhere this down right on this piece of white right here. Oops, sorry. Get you guys back in line. And then we have this small that we're going to put right across here. So it says, "You're as sweet as a peach." The thing I liked about this was you could give this to anybody, right? It's not necessarily for a birthday. It could be for anything. So there we go. We'll just put that right across there. Oops. And we might move that over just a tad. All right. And then we're going to adhere it right here onto our piece of, onto our card. Now you guys could pop that up on dimensionals if you wanted to. I just chose not to. I just thought I would keep everything pretty flat because it's pretty thick. But you could really, you could decorate this a lot more too. All right, now what we're going to do is we have our ribbon that we need to adhere. So again, I have this piece, oops. I have a piece of ribbon that I need to use up too. So in this case, I'm going to find the middle. I'm going to make sure that it lines up over here. So I'm going to line up these two ends and then pull so that I get it straight. And then I'm going to find out where I think the middle of my card is. So I'm going to say right there is where I want it. So I'm going to leave my finger on the ribbon here and hold down. And now I'm going to use my tape runner, which of course is over here. All right, here we go. Lift that up. All right, so what I want to do here is I want to put down some adhesive, and then I want to run my ribbon right across that. Okay, there we go. So I want to keep my ribbon straight across that piece. And then I'm going to take my card here and I'm going to adhere it right there to the center. Right. This is another great way because you think about this little card here and it's not, it's like kind of like a scrap, right? I mean, it's, what I say, like 3 inches by 7. So a lot of times if you cut a piece of cardstock, maybe for like a card that's 5.5 by 11, and then you have that extra piece, this would be the perfect place to use that. And this does fit into a standard envelope too. So it'd be a little bulky to mail, but you could at least put it into a standard envelope to give to someone as well. All right, so I got a little bit of something there. Okay, so here's our card. I'm just going to cut a piece of white cardstock to fit inside there. So I probably need it to be about 2.75 by 3.25 maybe. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Yes, it does. Beautiful. So we have a place here we can write a note, maybe as to why we're giving this gift. There we go. All right. I love it. Love it. I love it. All right. And there you have it. Now, we can also, I also cut out, oops, get rid of those there, some other little peaches that we could put, maybe I have that little boo-boo right there. Maybe I'll put one right there. How about that? Let's do that. I could also pop this up on a dimensional. I could, right? All right, and then I could even put one here, maybe. That might be too much. Okay, so we'll just leave it there. And then this is our inside. Now we're going to take all these other pieces we have, and let's see where else we maybe could use some decorations. Like maybe right here would be another place that we could put something on this page here. So we'll do that. We're going to just adhere some glue to the back of this peach. And this was just actually stamped off and then stamped on the basic white cardstock using Mango Melody. And there we go. That looks nice. And now if we open it up, why don't we do this? Why don't we just take, maybe up here, we'll use a few of these little guys. I have two that look similar and they look slightly different than the other ones. So we'll put those down here and do the same thing kind of with a green leaf, if you guys can see both of those. So one at the top, one here, and we'll just adhere these down and then we will be done. We'll close her up and that'll be that. So again, I think this is just such a adorable idea and so many options for how to use this particular fold. And you're getting rid of some, you know, beautiful, you're able to put good use, I should say. I hate to say get rid of because we're not really like getting rid of it, right? I mean, we want to use it up for something purposeful, right? Okay, here we go. So there we have it. All right, guys, I think we're done. I think we are done. So we're going to take this, fold it up, fold these down, fold this in, fold this in. Here's our top of our card. And then we can just close it up, tying in a bow here. And there you have it. Oops. You know, I don't know what it is. Me and bows when I'm... There we go. And you could, obviously, we would trim this down because this is a little crazy. I got a little crazy with the ribbon. I would trim that down again too. And I'm just gonna take my bone folder here and there we go. So I absolutely love it. So you guys can see how this one is different from this one. So this one, when we open it up, this one we fold all the way down and we have multiple panels. This one we fold down and we're going to have a card on the front, and then we also open it up and we have ourselves a middle panel and then some recipe card holders. Just lovely, lovely. And we have used up some of our DSP. All right, so I have one more card to show you, and I love this one. But it's not really a card. It's like a mini album, only more mini. It's kind of fun. So here we go. This is it. I'm going to show you how to make one, and I'm going to show you why I decided to do this. So this is the instructions first, and this is the mini album. And oh, you guys can see how small it is, right? I thought this would be perfect for any young kids that you might have that know how to read, that maybe are, I thought it'd be a great Sunday school activity. I thought it would be a great, something good for you to give to like your small child or grandchild. This particular one I made with verses in it. So I just want to show you, it has verses about fear, safety, if you're afraid or worrying or, you know, refuge, you know, just trusting in the Lord. I loved it. I just thought for kids that are scared, you know, there's a lot of kids out there that are just fearful and afraid. And I thought, you know, it's small enough, they can put it in their pocket. And that is what I loved about it. It is so small. A little girl could put this in like her little purse or in her pocket and pull it out and read it. If you didn't want to do verses, you could have little notes to your child, you know, just things that comfort them, pictures of them that they might like to carry around. It could be, you know, again, little notes, but I thought this would make for a great Sunday school project. So I want to show you, this uses a 6x6 sheet of paper, and the measurements are here if you want to take a screenshot, but you'll see it's just a regular 6x6 sheet of paper. And then you're going to cut it at 6 by 5 3/4. So remember that 1/4 inch. And then you're going to score it at 1 3/4 and 2, and then 3 3/4 and 4. Then you're going to rotate it to the 6-inch side, and you're going to score it at 2.5 and 5. And that will give you exactly what you got right here. Again, I used the 1/4 rounder punch. Now, I will tell you one little tidbit that I did not do. I rounded the corners after I glued all this paper down, and I ended up having to use a different corner rounder punch because it was too thick to go through the tool, like the Stampin' Up one that this one right here that I just showed you. So just make sure if you're going to round the corners, do that first, and then layer your cardstock. And you can see then you layer, the Gorgeous Grape is 2 1/4 by 1.5, and then your basic white is 2 inches by 1 1/4 for these ends. You'll notice these middle ones are thicker because they don't have the purple, the Gorgeous Grape underneath it. So that's why I say 2 at 2 1/4 by 1.5. Because I thought they could write down little prayer requests for themselves, things that they're praying about, or a verse that they really like. And then honestly, you guys, I just decorated it with some retired punch that I had and put a few little embellishments on there. And then again, you cut a piece of ribbon, and I just put it underneath the back layer in this case, and then just decorated the front. But I loved it. It is so cute. It's so small. Anyhow, if you would like these verse cards, I'm going to try to have them on my website, which, as many of you know, is like truly a work in progress. But if not, please email me at stampingwithfair@gmail.com, and I will get those to you. I already have it done. It is ready to go. I will make it a PDF and mail it to you, and just email it to you. So I think that is it. We did a lot today. We did I showed you this little mini album. We went through and created these are mini albums, I guess. And then this is a mini album. And then, of course, we went through and made, if I can find the one we made, right? I didn't lose it, hopefully, yet, right? And then we made this card here. So lots of different ways you guys can use up some designer series paper. 6x6 sheets, 12x12, 12x12, and you get 6 cards out of this one. But just lots of ways. And you know, with Mother's Day coming up and Easter, there are so many options for you to use up a lot of that. As well as, don't forget that if you think you might like any of those stamp sets that we've used, 2 of them are on this sheet. The Welcoming Window, Sweet as a Peach. And then, of course, if you did the recipe one, that would be super cute. And that is also 20% off. And I believe all of those are retiring. Sad, but there'll be new stuff coming. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining. And I hope you have a great evening. Take care. Bye.